We just want the white smoke, and the canopy just absorbs the white smoke. This is the traditional fire regime of Australia that's been practiced for thousands and thousands of years before colonisation. It's a method that works and has been proven that it works for thousands of years. Do another little patch a little bit further down so we've got a little bit of vegetation in between. And my name's Dan Morgan. I grew up in Bega. I'm a Jurunjans Yuin man. I work with local land services as Aboriginal Community Support Officer.
It's done right. My name's Peter Dixon. My tribe's Kamilaroi and Naganyawana. We've been doing this for about 4 years, learning off and on.
When we first put fire under country, we'll always just put it in slow, let the animals and the plants know that there's fire. Just let them smell the smoke. So yeah, just gives everything a chance just to get out of the way.
As the old fellas say, fire's moving quicker than the bugs and it's too fast. So if you sit around in front of the fire, you should be able to see in front of you hundreds of little critters at all different sorts of speeds moving away from the fire. So if the fire's too fast for them, then it's too hot and too quick, and those bugs will die, and then that affects the ecosystem, like the birds, all the other animals that eat those bugs. So everything we do always has a reason for what we do. Everything's linked. We're linked to the land, we're linked to the animals, to the trees, to the water, the ocean. We're all linked.
As you can see, it's a safe fire. There's no flame height over waist height, and it's just trickling along. We can walk with the fire. We're not putting in lines of fire here where it convects and it sucks and draws in on each other. And so when you use fire this way, fire is your friend, and it's not to be feared of. Like, fire is a living spirit in our culture, and it's something that we respect a lot. Yeah, I tried there before, maybe back here a little bit further. So this is the Bega Aboriginal Land Council land. This is like the southern Yuin country down this way. I've worked for a government agency, so I worked with hazard reduction burns. I got to join Biomanga Border Management as a traditional owner, and it wasn't until then I met Uncle Victor Stephenson and went to one of his workshops up at Cape York. Within 1 or 2 days of being there, my whole perception of fire had changed, because I'd realised that we'd been using it the wrong way. And the way that we were using fire by burning for hectares was damaging country. And that's what I think is the problem today. We're burning for hectares, not country. We need to go back to burning for different country types.
This is still sand-rich country, so the soil content that we're standing on now is a sandy loam. So it's a mixture between soil and sand itself.
What we're doing here, we're trying to burn for the health of the soil and trying to build that soil back up. And then once we get that soil to a good health, it will hold more moisture. It's hard, but this one, because it's a reset and it hasn't had fire on it for so long.
A reset burn is basically we're trying to implement the cooler fire through that sick bushland to reduce all that fire-dominant species like bracken fern, kerosene bush.
You know that grass that I showed you?
Yeah.
Once stuff like that will start coming back. We've always had fire, you know, like the lightning, he's like the teacher of fire, you know, so we've always had fires in the history of Australia. Nothing like the fires that we're getting now, but not like there's no stories, no creation stories of fires like we've just had in this last summer. We don't want that to repeat again in another couple more years. Cultural burning, it's not a silver bullet, you know, it's not an overnight fix, but I really do think if we have like a wide-scale program where we're doing this type of work all the way up and down the coast, you know, like I really do think in maybe 10 years we could see a massive difference.